Debbyites, we're back for episode 11 of season 5 of your favourite show, Outlander. It's the second last episode of this really strong season to date. I'm Rob Licuria, senior editor here at Gold Derby, and I'm with Booger fans Paula, Sullivan-Licuria. Welcome back for yet another chapter. Okay, so this episode is called Journeycake, and it was directed by Jamie Payne and written by the one, the only Diana Gabaldon. And the synopsis reads as follows. A revelation about Jemmy forces Roger and Brianna to choose between staying in the 18th century and returning to the safety of the future. Jamie finds that unrest in the backcountry has given rise to a new power, an organisation led by the unpredictable Brown brothers. Claire finds that her attempts to make this time safer for her family have dire, unintended consequences. I was wondering what a Journeycake was. I was very curious. And I'm very happy that I finally figured out what it was by the end of the episode. All is now whole again in this universe, and I feel at one and at peace. What was I've got lots to say about the episode, but I just was trying to be funny, but, you know, I like my day job. What was your overall reaction for the episode?
I was brought to tears in this episode on more than one occasion. It was a very heartfelt, I felt very, very beautifully written and even more beautifully acted episode. That was my overall feeling for this particular episode this week. It wasn't so much a roller coaster of emotions. It was more like how are you going to make my heart hurt more than you did like 5 minutes ago? Oh, you're going to do it that way. Okay. That's how this episode was for me.
Okay. We've got a lot to unpack, so let's go through it all. First of all, the episode opens with the burnt-out homestead, burning, dying woman, Richard Rankin, really good performance, beautiful makeup, wonderful set design by John Gary Steele. He really is such a major talent. He has had such an incredible season in terms of his designs. So shout out to him. But that was a great opener. I don't really understand the relevance of it though. So is there anything you want to say about that?
Well, okay. It sort of snowballs to the whole, so the Brown brothers create, I think they call it the Committee of Safety, something along those lines. And because these houses keep getting burnt out and, you know, we find an arrow in one of them, you know, so people are getting killed basically in the area. And the Brown brothers think they're going to be able to keep everybody safe by doing patrols and everything like that. But it doesn't work out the way Claire and Jamie expect it would go. But we can unpack that a little bit later on. So that's basically what it is. That's what the beginning is all about. You know, there are these killings, people are starting to feel a little bit unsafe in the backcountry, and the Brown brothers, I don't know if you could call it well-meaning, decide to do this and basically fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work out.
No. There was a lot of tension in the episode. From me as a casual viewer, I was frustrated about Brianna and Roger and Jemmy going back to the future. And I was like, why? Just stay there. Stay there. Why are you going? Don't leave. What do you have to say about that?
Look, this is a particular part of, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love I love the TV show as a TV show and I love the book as a book. But for those who are constantly comparing and contrasting, this was a major contrast. Because in the end of the Fiery Cross, and we've seen how big this book is, Brianna and Roger are still, and Jemmy are still on the ridge. And I actually read the last page, and yes, they are still on the ridge at the end of this book. without spoiling it too much, yes, they do eventually in the books go back to the future. So I wasn't wholly surprised they did it. A few little plot points were missing, but I don't know, like, I thought it was a bit rushed. I knew they were going to eventually do it, but maybe they needed to add to the drama of the season, maybe. They were getting to the end and they sort of needed to leave on a bit of a cliffhanger. I'm not really sure what their thinking was, but I didn't not hate it. You hated it. I
didn't hate it. I was just like, I didn't want them to leave. I didn't feel like there was enough making them want to actually pick up and leave, like, forever.
Oh, you mean like enough of a reason to go?
Yes.
Other than simply that it's not safe.
Yeah, like, that's not enough. Like, they needed more. It needed to be the reason in the book. Maybe.
I don't know. Should we spoil that?
No, no, we shouldn't. But anyone who knows what we're talking about, make your comments down below because I'd love to hear what you think. Also, I've always said this. Even when I used to do these chats with Amanda Spears, I used to always say, I want to see him go through the stones. I want to see what it looks like and feels like. I guess it just feels like that because that's what we keep getting. They go to the stones, they can hear it humming and murmuring, and they hold the jewel, they put their hand on the stone, and then they're out. And okay, maybe that's it. As a sci-fi person, I would love to see more of that. I find that very intriguing, but here we are.
Well, I think it was sufficiently explained in season 1, you know, with Claire saying it feels like you're in a car, and the car is flying through the air, but you feel like you're going in slow motion. And even Brianna says, I feel like I've been turned inside out when she comes out the other side of stones. So I don't know, like, I mean, I know as a sci-fi geek, you're looking for more of like the Stargate type travel happen, or, you know, or like when, you know, the Doctor and his companions hop into the TARDIS, you want the whole action. I get that. I kind of like how they don't do that because we're meant to be seeing it from, like, for example, in this episode, we saw it from Ian's point of view. They were there 1 minute and then next they were gone and then they just reappear somewhere else. Where was it? When was it? We don't know yet.
No.
Maybe we'll find out next week.
I hope so. Well, that grounds the show in reality. It doesn't go into the waffly science fiction fantasy realm. It's very much grounded in reality. It's almost like these stones could exist. It's more of a mystical thing as opposed to a sci-fi thing, is my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with you because a lot of people do think that these sort of spiritual aspects exist. Like, there are actual people in the world. Like, I'm not saying just in the book, but there are people in the world who believe this stuff happens. And so, or, you know, there is some mysticism around these stones. Like, how did they get there? Why are they in that shape? Like, I could be here for hours talking about it. But, there are people who do believe that. And so I kind of like that. I like the mysticism. Not everything's explained. You've got to remember, you've got to, as you often remind me, suspend your disbelief. Just accept it for what it is, and that's it. And so, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know, I liked it.
So Sam Hewitt had a lot to do. He's now got to live without his kids, his daughter. He also had to think back about William. And then at the end, which we'll talk about in a second, his whole household has been turned upside down and Claire is gone. So not a good episode in terms of Jamie's happiness, but very good episode in terms of Sam Hewitt's ability to stretch as an actor.
Oh yeah. Like, if we're talking about Sam in the episode as a whole, I actually had to mention to you, like, the bit in the beginning where Jamie is playing with the opal and he goes, oh, it's hot. And then they all go, oh, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. And they're like, oh, no, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. And then Jamie simply says to Brianna, are you going to go? Or something to that effect. And Brianna just looks at him, and then the look Jamie gives, like, you could just see his heart break. In that look, however Sam does this, that look that he gave you could see his heart like just do this. And then his heart through the rest of the episode gets done like this.
Pretty much.
So
did he touch the opal? Did he end up touching that opal?
Yeah. Yeah, he said it was
it hot for him? Oh,
no,
okay.
and it was cold.
So he's one of the
Ian as well.
Yeah, which is because I was just like,
yes.
oh, this is bullshit. Why can't Ian go through? It's not fair. And then you explained it all. I'm like, that sucks. I'm not complaining about the show. I just think like it sucks how some people can go through and some people can't.
Well, like I said, you know, if people found life getting too hard, they'll be jumping willy-nilly through time.
Yeah.
Come on.
I guess so.
Defend your sleep.
There's one thing that I didn't like as well. I mean, I'm just not trying to nitpick, but at the end when the Brown brothers, which it sounds funny to say because in Australia that's a brand of
wine.
Brown brothers. Yeah. When the Brown brothers took Claire, I was like, oh, please no more rape. Can we please not have any more rape? And you're like, there's going to be rape. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm sorry to spoil it, but I mean, maybe sorry to spoil it off everybody, but yeah, like I hate how they go back to that well so often. That well is dry because they keep going back to it.
Yeah, I know. And then I had to explain to you why they took Claire. So yeah, look. Again, I find they're jumping a bit, and I've said this before, they're jumping through the book a bit, and the whole time I've been trying to flick to find it. I will try and do my best for the next episode, for the finale. But again, I'm just enjoying the ride. But yes, they do take Claire, and they take Claire because Janie basically told them to get lost. He doesn't want to join their committee for safety.
It just seems a bit extreme. He doesn't want to join the committee, so they decide to kill everybody and take Claire. Like, really?
Well, they didn't kill everyone. They just punched Marcelly and they killed the patient. And then they kidnapped Claire. That's one.
It's a bit extreme. Like, geez, calm down.
Yeah, look, it was extreme. But you've also got to remember the Brown brothers have got animosity with Jamie. You know, the whole Isaiah Morton thing. You know, there's a little bit of a telegraph partway through where one of the Brown brothers' wives breaks her arm, and she's like, he's really sad because of his daughter going off with Isaiah. You know, so the Brown brothers don't really like the Frasers, especially, you know, they're also very like, well, we came and fought against the regulators for you in your militia. Now you have to come join the safety committee. Jamie says, no, get lost, and they get the cranks. So, yeah, it is a bit of a massive knee-jerk reaction. It makes for great drama, and I'm pretty sure what happens to Claire actually happens in the next book. I'm pretty sure, but I will have to double-check, and I will double-check by next week. So, yeah, it is a bit much, but, you know, it's the drama and everything like that, so... Poor Claire.
Well, you know, at least Claire got, I don't know how to put this delicately, in this episode. She had a good episode too. So there were parts of it where they were smelling each other, and, you know, apparently she smells like peppercorn and he smells like gunpowder. And then, you know, everybody got their favourite activity portrayed between the two lovebirds, and then we moved on. So, you know, I mean, there was something for everyone is what I'm trying to say in this episode. Something for everyone.
Yeah, Claire had a pretty good episode apart from the ending, which just goes to show, again, Katrina Balfe did a great job.
She did no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, so I feel, both her and Sam Heughan. So I think they both did very well in this episode. You know, I thought maybe Sam a little bit more because he, as the, you know, the 18th century man, he lays his heart out on the table, you know, more than once, you know, tells Brianna about William. And in the book, if I remember correctly, William's actually meant to be in the Americas, but he's actually studying in London now. So that's a little bit of a deviation, I believe, from the book. But yeah, so like, you know, for Jamie, everything's about family. You know, you've got to remember, even though Claire loves her family, she loves having her daughter around. But, you know, for her growing up, it was her and her uncle. So for Jamie, for his part of his family to leave, you can tell it's tearing him apart. So it was a bit sad, this episode. I enjoyed it.
Well, it was a shocking, heartbreaking, devastating lead up to the season finale, and it was very enjoyable. And I keep thinking over this season, I'm sure we'll have more to say next week, but the show feels like it has a real confidence to it. It's the characters are established, the writers know what they're doing, the directors are very talented, the sets, the costumes, the whole thing is just beautifully put together, and I feel like they've really hit their stride this season. I think this season could arguably be maybe the strongest. We'll see.
Whoa, that's a big call coming from you.
So anyway, look, I think that will do for now. We've got one more to go, and then we're done for another year of Outlander. It is quite sad, but in the meantime, everybody stick with us. Give us as many comments and feedback as you want. We love reading them, and we'll be back next week to talk about the no doubt explosive season finale. And see you all next week. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home.